Hello and welcome to our second lecture from our TESOL course, full free TESOL course for English teachers. I was so happy when I saw your comments, your dedication, and your excitement. And also, I'm so happy that you're interested in completing the whole course. I have some tips for you. Let me say that we need to watch the video very well. We need to take some notes. And we need also to read the material before starting answering the quiz. So don't answer the quiz without watching the video carefully, without taking notes, and without, of course, reading the material before starting answering any question. Because the questions are not that easy, are not so direct, so it needs to understand everything before starting answering the quiz. For those who are watching us for the first time, you need to go back to the first episode before starting the second one. And our lecture today will be mainly about two important things. Whenever we teach vocabulary and whenever we teach grammar, we need to know some techniques, some things that we need to know. So whenever you start teaching vocabulary to your students, we follow some steps according to the framework. So, for example, you start with elicitation, then you go through the concept of checking questions, and the third step is drilling. Today, we'll be talking about two of those steps. Step number one, which is elicitation, and step number two, which is drilling. So let's start with elicitation. And of course, many of you know well what elicitation is. So it's like a technique for teachers. Whenever we ask the students about the word or the new word or the grammar structure, we don't tell them. So start your explanation by elicitation. So let them elicit, let them say what they know exactly about the topic that you're talking. Like, for example, if you're teaching them grammar or if you're teaching them new words, so you need to let them elicit the first step. Let's here look at the importance of elicitation. Why do you think it is important to let the students elicit? Of course, whenever we elicit or the elicitation technique, let me say first, what does this mean? It means that we draw out the information or we ask students to respond to the word or to the grammar structure rather than providing them, rather than giving them the information easily, rather than spoon feeding them, as we say. So we encourage them to have like active learning, critical thinking, and engagement. And they are very important, however you're teaching in a national or international school. So these techniques are very important to let the students draw out the information, not to get the information. So while having elicitation in the classroom, we let the students discover, realize, search, draw out, and understand. So it helps you in the process of understanding. And of course, you know that we have TTT, teacher talking time, and student talking time, STT. So we need to reduce the teacher talking time and we need to improve or increase the student talking time. Elicitation or eliciting things helps you do that by reducing, of course, the teacher talking time, because you're asking the students to elicit the information or to draw out the information without providing them with the information. So how to elicit vocabulary in ESL classroom? There are many ways that you can use when you start letting your students elicit vocabulary. So one of them, by giving students definitions or by giving them description for something and they need to elicit it. And another way, by some games. So you can start with some games by testing them or revising vocabulary that they know, and they start to play games eliciting the vocabulary, or giving them synonyms or antonyms and they need to elicit the word that you mean. And also you can give them pictures, so we can put a picture and start asking students some questions about the picture. They start to elicit using an example plus, of course, the picture or the flashcard. And we're going to have like an example about that together now, whenever we finish talking about the ways. Also, you can use the spider diagram. Spider diagram, it means that we have a word in the middle and we have other words like antonyms, like synonyms, like examples, like definitions. So you can start by the spider diagram and letting them elicit or think about the word that they need to know. Let me show you now an example for a word that we need students to elicit the meaning. Let's say that I'm teaching my students this word, which is not an easy word, right? It's not an easy word. The word is destruction. Destruction. I will ask my students in the beginning. Let's read the sentence. The tornado destroyed buildings and caused a lot of other destruction. Who can tell me what does the word destruction mean? I guess, guys, the picture will help you a lot guessing the meaning. So look at those people. Are they in a good situation or a bad one? So they will start talking about the definition of destruction. They can describe the picture. After describing the picture, of course, you can tell them the definition of destruction. So after eliciting, you can just start asking them some CCQs. Is it a good situation or a bad situation? Does this mean that the house in a good state or in a damaged one? Is it damaged or ruined? So now you're just asking them some CCQs. After that, of course, after telling you the answers, you can reveal the definition. Let me show you another word that we can use elicitation. Here we have the word scattered. Scattered. So the word scattered here, look at the picture. The sheep were scattered across the meadow. So what do you think the word scattered means? They will start giving you some answers and you will start giving them some CCQs. Are they in the same place or they are everywhere? Are they gathered together or they are in different places in the picture? So what does the word scatter means? In the same place or in different places? They will answer, and then you will reveal the answer. It means to spread or thrown about. And you can start asking them some critical thinking questions, like, for example, what is the synonym of scattered? And they will start, of course, telling you the answers. This is the way of using elicitation in teaching them new words. So let's discuss or let's think together the importance of elicitation in English language classroom. Of course, it increases the students' engagement and participation. And even if your students don't know anything about the word, you can help them by a picture, giving them definitions or synonyms or whatever. So it means now that you differentiate the instruction. So it means now that I am asking a question that matches all the levels in my class. So of course you have below level students and you have on level students and you have high achievers. Whenever you start asking them some CCQs, it means that you vary the questions, 50-50 chance questions, or you're giving them true or false questions. It will help, of course, the below average students to answer, to engage, and so on, and of course, to increase their self-confidence. When you discuss these things with your students, it will not that easy to forget the meaning or the definition. They will remember the meaning, they will remember your discussion with them. This is the magic of the active learning classroom. Of course, it promotes critical thinking and problem-solving skills because you give them a problem. So guys guess the meaning. They don't know it. So they need to think about solving the problem. They need to think about finding the definition, or they need to think about finding meaning of the word through the context. It helps the students also develop their language skills. So it means they speak with you. So it improves the language skills, building sentences, thinking about things, talking about objects or definite objects and so on. Creates a more learner-centered classroom. This is what we talked about. When we reduce the teacher talking time and we increase the student talking time, it means that we have student-centered class, not a teacher-centered class. So forget about providing them with the information, let them elicit everything. So I have a question from one of my trainees in one of the courses. They asked me about elicitation. Do we use elicitation only with vocabulary? Of course not. We can use elicitation in reading. We can use elicitation in teaching grammar. So it helps us in many different things, not only teaching vocabulary. Okay, so now we'll be moving to the second thing in our lesson today, drilling. Drilling. And of course, you know drilling and you did it many times in your class. But there are many types of drilling. I will go through some of them today, and I will go through some techniques which will help you make it fun and make it, of course, unforgettable experience for your students. So let's start. Of course, when we talk about the definition of drilling, of course, drilling means repetition. It means you say something and your students are repeating something after you, like telling them the word, and you make sure that they are saying the same pronunciation, they have the intonation if you're repeating a sentence, or they are repeating the structure of the sentence if you're teaching them grammar. So we use drilling in many different ways, not only to repeat the same sentence, but there are many types of drilling, and let's start with some of them. So of course, the experience of drilling in the class, it will be, of course, a teacher-led. Teacher-led, it means the teacher lead the drilling because the teacher is speaking and the students are repeating after the teacher. But we can transform this. It will be between two students, or between you and all the students, between you and one of the students and others. We will go through that in many different types. So here's an example. One of the interesting things that we use whenever we teach grammar, for example. Now we're teaching students subject-verb agreement or present simple. Present simple, so we have I go to school. I go to school. When we teach them present simple, of course, we teach them how to make a question. So I have now like 4 or 5 students in front of me. Guys, I will say the sentence and you will answer asking a question using the word that I will say at the end or by the end of the sentence. So when I say I go to school, when, you would say, when do you go to school? I go shopping. Where? The student will answer, where do you go shopping? I like tennis. Why? Why do you like tennis? And so on. So the teacher now is saying a sentence, and students are generating questions. They're starting giving you questions. So it is called transformational drill. So in drilling, there were many different opinions. Let's say that we will divide them into 2 parties. The first party is for those who believe that learning language is essentially a process of acquiring new habits. And there are some people who believe that learning involves in cognitive and thinking process. And of course, those who are, some people are with and some people are against. So for those people who are with, they said that most learners like drilling, and they said that this is essential for the pronunciation work, so it means it improves the students' pronunciation, and the teacher makes sure that that the students got the correct pronunciation or the intonation, and it makes production automatically. Like when they drill a lot, they remember the structure of the sentence and they can produce the same sentence later on when they are speaking. And drill gives learners confidence. So it means they have self-confidence because they know well what they would say, and it provides valuable speaking practice. For those who are against, they said that we find this embarrassing for those shy students, and it makes no difference to learning if they drill are not. And also it is based on outdated learning theory. So it means it's an old-fashioned one. And some of them said also drills are meaningless and non-communicative. So it means students are not communicating with each other, so no need to have drilling. And they said that drilling is boring. Drilling is boring. So we usually use different types of drilling to make it interesting. So we can solve this problem. And for those who find it embarrassing, when they speak together in the same time, I don't think that it will be embarrassing for those who are so shy. So let's go through now the types of drilling. Repetition drills, back-chaining drills, transformation drills, substitution drills. And let's talk about them. We talked about transformation drill, but we will explain it again. But let's talk about repetition drills. This is what we all know. You say, and they repeat. You say, and they repeat. So it could be just repetition for the grammar structure or for the new word that they have. So like you see here, I'll come if I can. The student will repeat the same sentence. I'll go if I should. Student will repeat the same one. Enthusiastic. So here we have the stress. So they repeat the stress. Marvelous. So they repeat on the stress. Let's go to the second type, back-chaining drills. And this one makes the drilling interesting. So look at the example that we have. Let's say that we say the sentence backward. So we allow students to focus better on saying the sentence backward. So met Mary, students repeat, met Mary. Would have met Mary. You would have met Mary. The party, you would have met Mary. So now we go backward. We go to the sentence backward. So what we call it, back-chaining drills. It means students are saying things backward. It lets them focus, as you see here in this example. So one by one, you'd come to the party, you'd have met Mary. One by one, if you would come to the party, you would have met Mary, and so on. You drill backward. It makes, of course, the drilling interesting. Only one word of the sentence. So for example, if I say, I will come if I can, I could replace I with she. So it will be, she will come if she can. Use he will come if he can. They will come if they can, and so on. This is substitution. So it means we replace one of the words with another word and we say another sentence. Okay, so another one, she is in America, isn't she? Africa. She is in Africa, or she's in Africa, isn't she? She's in France, isn't she? So every time you replace one word. He went to America, didn't he? Use Germany. So he went to Germany, did he? And so on. So we replace one word, it means substitution drills. Transformation drill. Transformation drills. In transformation drills, it means that I change the form, the whole form, into another one. So if I say the affirmative form, students would say the negative one. Or if I say the present form, students would say the past one. I go to the party, or I go to the mall. It will be in the past, I went to the mall. I come here, I came here. I do my homework, I did my homework. So it will go, this way. It will go this way. Okay, so transformation drills, we can change the form from an affirmative one into a negative one, or into a question, as the examples that we mentioned in the beginning of the video, or we can change from a present to a past, or from past to present, or from present to future, from future to another tense. So this is what we call transformation drills. Chain drills. Chain drills are another form of meaningful drills that we can use in our, of course, in our class, and it will be so much fun. It's now the time for their productivity. They have their productive time. So of course they will listen to their teacher. For example, look at the first example here. My name is Dave, and if I wear a piece of furniture, I'd like to be a well-organized desk. How about you? They will use the same sentence, but with different, of course, words. Like, my name is Maris, and if I wear a piece of furniture, I'd like to be a big, comfortable sofa. How about you? So now they produce new words. My name is Fiona, and if I wear a piece of furniture, I'd like to be a little antique beside the cupboard. How about you? So as you see here, everybody is speaking in a different way. So this is what we call chain drills. It's a meaningful drill that you can use in your class. The growing text drill, and it's one also of the productive skills, or to improve the productive skills. So you can start with saying, I came home. I came home when? Or I came home only, and let them complete. Everybody will add a word. So I came home and I found a cat. I came home and found a cat on my doorstep. I came home and I found a tiny cat sitting on my doorstep. So now they are adding information. They are expanding the phrase. Expanding the phrase by adding details. So this type of growing text drill is one of the meaningful ways to drill in the classroom, and it improves the speaking skills, and also it improves the writing skills, because productive skills are mainly about speaking and writing. But now we just speak. So now you tell your students how to expand the sentence, and expanding the sentence will help them in both speaking and writing. Let's think about some techniques or some ideas that you can use drills, or some drills that you use in the class. We have repetition drills, as we said, and all the types of drills that we talked about, but you can use also drills for dialogue building. So you can ask a question and they will answer, then ask another question and they will answer. So now you have they are building a dialogue. And also for information gaps. So you give them, of course, a sentence, and they need to fill the gaps. This is type of drilling. And also you can use drilling in, or drills with songs or rhymes or chants. And let's go now to see the disappearing text. Disappearing text, it's mainly about, it's a game, like a game that you can use in the class. And it can be done by vocabulary items or phrases or short text or dialogue, or of course, it depends on the level of the student that you're teaching. So you will write up a text on the board, a sentence, for example, and you will erase part of it, and they will say the whole sentence as if you didn't erase anything. So for example, I went to the mall and I bought many things. You will erase I bought many things. So they will say, I went to the mall and I bought many things, after erasing this part. So this is what we call disappearing message. And of course, gradually you can put more and more words and you erase. So now you remember it's like the memory games. It's like memory games that we use with young learners. And of course, now provides intensive drills for your students, or intensive practice to the students to repeat many times. And now it increases motivation. And of course, it will be very interesting in the classroom. The dialogue building that we talked about, it's also a useful practice in the class, especially for low-level students, to increase or to improve their self-confidence. So have you got a pet? So they say, yes, I've got a cat. Oh, what's its name? It is called Fred. And they drill the same dialogue many times with different types of pets and with different names. It improves, of course, the self-confidence for below-level learners. We came to the end of our second lecture. I hope you enjoyed it and you find it useful for you. Let me say that our quiz this week will be on Monday, not Sunday. And you will have the whole week till next Sunday, the due date for the second quiz. Don't forget to like and subscribe the channel, and I'll be waiting for your comments. See you.